The cameras flashed, the crowd froze, and just like that, Hollywood had a new obsession.
Oh, man.
Right. Imagine launching a massive, highly anticipated business venture. The branding is glossy, the PR machine is humming perfectly, and then a simple, almost comical website glitch reveals your most guarded corporate secrets to the entire internet.
It is honestly the ultimate nightmare for any major brand. One minute you're projecting absolute control, and the next, the raw machinery of your operation is just totally exposed.
Exactly. Welcome to Starscape Report, where Jordan and Jamie uncover Hollywood drama, music industry shakeups, and viral influencer scandals. From red carpet surprises to social media controversies, we dive deep into the stories behind the fame.
And today's deep dive is a wild one.
It really is. Today, we're looking at Meghan Markle's business facing a $5 million problem. We're going to unpack the mechanics of celebrity business empires and ask, why doesn't absolute global fame automatically translate into business competence?
Which is such a fascinating question, you know? What actually happens when a highly publicized royal rebrand hits a multi-million-dollar roadblock?
To figure that out, we've pulled a really diverse stack of sources for this deep dive. We've got hard data from Newsweek and the Economic Times, some intense legal analysis from a trademark blog called Your Legal Era, philanthropic reports from Parade, and of course, the brutal, unfiltered commentary from internet sleuths on Reddit.
But before we get into the operational mechanics of all this, it is super important to state right up front that the internet is fiercely divided on this couple.
Oh, completely.
Yeah, you have passionate defenders and incredibly harsh critics. So our goal today isn't to take a side or get dragged into the political or tabloid drama.
Right, absolutely not.
We are just here to objectively analyze the numbers, the legal filings, and the public reactions exactly as they are in the sources. We're looking at business execution, pure and simple.
Okay, let's unpack this. We have to start with the launch that kicked off this whole saga, because the first domino to fall wasn't retail, it was actually legal.
Yeah, that legal wall they hit was massive.
Right. So in March 2024, Meghan announced a brand new lifestyle venture called American Riviera Orchard. They did this whole soft launch, sending out exclusive jars of jam to celebrity friends, getting that crucial Instagram placement.
Classic influencer
Yeah,
plug.
exactly. But behind the scenes, things were falling apart. The intellectual property analysis from Your Legal Era really sheds light on this.
It does. So when you file a trademark, the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, the USPTO, evaluates it against really strict criteria. And Meghan's application got an initial refusal.
An immediate rejection.
Yeah, because the USPTO determined the name was too geographic. They basically said you have to disclaim the geographic part and go on the supplemental register, which is essentially a secondary tier for less distinctive brands.
Which honestly sounds like standard bureaucratic red tape, right? Like a good legal team would just file the paperwork, take the secondary register, and move on.
You'd think so. But the structural integrity of their IP was challenged by a much bigger threat.
And this is where it gets crazy.
Right. Another company filed a formal letter of protest with the USPTO. This is basically when a third party jumps in and says, hey, we strongly believe this new brand infringes on our territory.
And who is that company?
The gourmet food giant, Harry and David.
Wow.
Yeah, because they already own a highly established, lucrative line called Royal Riviera.
It's like trying to claim a custom vanity license plate that someone else has already been driving around with for years.
Exactly. And it shows a fundamental misunderstanding of trademark law. It's not about protecting a creator's feelings. It's about protecting the consumer.
Right, ensuring they don't get confused, like slapping a Rolex crown on a $20 watch. The law wants to make sure that when you buy a gourmet Riviera product, you're not accidentally getting the wrong brand.
Exactly. And when a massive brand like Harry and David files that protest, it signals notes of opposition, which means years of litigation and hundreds of thousands in legal fees.
Which forces us to ask a really glaring question. With all the resources they have, lawyers, PR teams, consultants, how do you back a global brand launch without securing the trademark first?
I mean, it reveals a huge disconnect between PR and legal. In celebrity businesses, they often just assume fame will bulldoze through administrative hurdles. But corporate law does not care about your follower count.
So true. So they had to pivot. The sources show Meghan's team rebranded entirely to As Ever, which she claimed means as it's always been.
Yeah, and they filed new trademarks in September 2024. Interestingly, they'd actually filed an application for As Ever way back in 2022.
A backup plan. But the reputational damage was done. The Economic Times highlighted how Reddit critics saw this public pivot as a major embarrassment. An insider even told Radar Online she was just trying to deflect the disaster.
Changing your name right out of the gate is, well, it's just a really bad look for your executive strategy.
And that's not even the wildest part. Because while the legal drama was bad, wait until you hear about the massive blunder that happened when the new website actually went live.
Oh, this is the e-commerce glitch? This is just wild.
Right, so standard e-commerce platforms have basic API protections, right? They cap how many items you can put in a cart so the servers don't crash.
Yeah, it's like digital retail 101.
But Reddit sleuths figured out that the As Ever website lacked this basic line of code. There was no limit.
So if you typed an absurd number into the quantity box like, say, 1 million items, the database would just panic.
And what did it do?
Well, it knew it couldn't fulfill 1 million units, so its default response was to automatically reduce the number in your cart to the exact maximum available stock sitting in their warehouse.
Wait, so it just handed over their most guarded supply chain data to anyone who asked?
Exactly. It's the digital equivalent of leaving your warehouse doors wide open with the inventory ledger taped to the front gate.
That is insane. And Newsweek actually verified the numbers these Reddit users pulled. The glitch revealed exactly 650,190 units of stock,
Over 500,000 items.
valued at an estimated $21.8 million.
And when you break down what that inventory actually was, the risk profile becomes alarming. They were holding almost 90,000 candles, worth about $5.7 million.
Okay, candles don't expire, but what else?
80,000 tubs of edible flower sprinkles,
80,000 tubs.
valued at $1.2 million.
I mean, from a startup perspective, that makes zero sense. Usually, you do beta testing, limited runs. Who orders 80,000 tubs of flower sprinkles before testing if anyone actually wants them?
Someone who assumes their personal fame will automatically convert into massive sales volume. It's virtually unheard of to manufacture untested inventory at that scale in the consumer goods space.
And the real problem is this isn't just tied-up capital, it's depreciating capital. We're talking about jams, teas, flower sprinkles, things that expire.
Yes, this is the crux of the $5 million problem. According to Page 6 and the Daily Mail, which were cited heavily on Reddit, the brand is facing a hard expiration deadline of next summer's end.
So the clock is literally ticking.
If they don't physically sell those perishable goods by then, they become legally unsellable. They're looking at a potential $5 million loss on the jams alone, plus another $1 million on the sprinkles.
Fame might get you attention, but it does not scale shelf life. And when you look at the website traffic, the math just gets darker. Newsweek reported that between January and May, the site only had 392,114 U.S. visitors.
Which is key because they only ship within the U.S.
Yeah.
So global curiosity doesn't matter if international fans can't buy anything.
Exactly. And of those U.S. visitors, Newsweek noted a bounce rate of 34 to 40%, meaning 4 out of 10 people took one look at the homepage and left without clicking a single product.
That is a severe mismatch between brand presentation and consumer expectation.
And the Reddit community was ruthless about this. One user pointed to a Forbes article stating that up to 57.5% of all internet traffic is driven by bots.
Oh, wow. So they're suggesting the real human traffic is even lower.
Way lower. They're mocking the fact that you have 650,000 physical items in a warehouse, and maybe a fraction of that in actual human beings looking at the fight over 5 months.
But, to maintain our impartiality check here, we do have to look at the counter-narrative from our sources.
Fair point. What's the other side saying?
So Newsweek spoke to an insider with direct knowledge of the brand's metrics. And this insider strongly defended the company. They claimed the business is actually expected to double in size this year.
Double in size, okay.
Yeah, they said the holiday period was incredibly successful, moving a lot of volume. And they explicitly accused the online critics of pushing a negative narrative just because they want to see Meghan fail.
Which is a really important perspective to include. They're basically saying the back-end numbers are great, don't write the obituary yet.
Right. But the tension between that insider optimism and the hard data of 80,000 expiring flower sprinkles is exactly what makes this such a fascinating business case study.
Totally. Hey, if you're loving these deep dives into Hollywood business twists, make sure you're subscribed to Starscope Report. We've got even crazier stories coming up.
Yeah. Hit that subscribe button. You definitely don't want to miss what we uncover next.
Because later in this deep dive, we'll talk about a shocking twist with their Netflix deal that nobody saw coming. But first, here's where it gets really interesting. This supply chain crisis doesn't exist in a vacuum, right? Let's look at the broader Sussex empire.
Yeah, because modern celebrity retail is rarely meant to stand alone. It's supposed to synergize with media output, like a marketing funnel.
Exactly. Meghan had this Netflix cooking and crafting show called With Love, Meghan. It was explicitly designed to drive traffic to the brand. You watch her make jam on TV, you buy the jam on your phone.
Classic integration. But our sources reveal a massive fracture there. In March 2026, Netflix quietly withdrew as an equity partner in the As Ever brand.
They pulled their investment after just 1 year.
Yep. And furthermore, that accompanying cooking show was not renewed for a third season. The data shows recent episodes dropped completely out of the top 1,000 watched shows on Netflix.
I mean, when your primary media partner, the platform meant to funnel your sales, pulls its equity, that is a chilling signal to the market. It's like canceling a blockbuster movie but still manufacturing millions of dollars in toy tie-ins.
That is the perfect analogy.
Yeah.
The toys are sitting in the warehouse,
Yep.
but there's no movie driving the kids to the store.
And this strain isn't just on the for-profit side. Let's talk about their philanthropic infrastructure. The hard data from Parade regarding the Archwell Foundation, recently rebranded to Archwell Philanthropies, is rough.
Yeah, the numbers there are really telling.
They recently cut 60% of their staff, letting 3 employees go. A spokesperson called it inevitable, but the financials show why. In 2024, the charity reported $5.1 million in operating expenses against only $2.1 million in donations.
Burning more than double what you bring in is just structurally unsustainable for a nonprofit. It forces aggressive downsizing.
But it's also a metric of public engagement, right? In their first year, their name alone generated over $13 million in donations. Dropping to $2.1 million shows their celebrity leverage has seriously cooled.
And we're seeing that cooling effect across Prince Harry's portfolio, too. His heavily promoted Netflix documentary about professional polo basically flopped.
Right. And then there's the NBA game.
Oh, the Reddit sleuths had a field day with this one.
They really did. Game 5 of the NBA Finals. The Knicks versus the Spurs. Town & Country confirmed Harry was personally invited by NBA Commissioner Adam Silver. That is a highly prestigious invite.
It is. But Reddit users analyzed the podcast footage and noticed something glaring. Harry was seated in the 8th row.
The 8th row. While other celebrities like Spike Lee and Tracy Morgan were sitting directly courtside.
I know, to a layman, basketball seating sounds like trivial gossip.
Mm-hmm.
But in Hollywood currency, where you sit at a global broadcast event, is a strict barometer of your cultural leverage.
It's a massive shift in gravity. Think about it. Just a few years ago, they signed a $20 million Spotify deal that eventually got axed. They were the center of historic royal events. And now...
Now they're holding millions at expiring sprinkles, cutting charity staff, and sitting in the 8th row while the announcers barely notice them.
Synthesizing all these data points, the trademark wall, the API cart failure, the severed Netflix synergy, the charity burn rate, it shows a huge recalibration of their reality.
Because their initial strategy was entirely based on the shock value of leaving the royal family.
Yeah.
The Oprah interview, the memoir, they were monetizing institutional drama.
Which brought in massive traffic initially. The whole world watched.
Oh, absolutely.
Mhm.
But shock value depreciates. Once
wow.
the secrets are out, the tension is gone. You can't build recurring revenue on a static revelation.
What?
Now they have to compete as traditional lifestyle influencers. And in that arena, supply chain logistics and product quality matter way more than just a famous name.
Managing the cold chain logistics of 80,000 tubs of perishable food requires real infrastructure. It's a completely different sport.
Exactly.
So what is the core lesson for you listening right now? It's that a highly recognizable name might get you initial website traffic. It might get you a glossy launch. But it will not magically sell 80,000 tubs of flour
It
sprinkle.
won't write your API code, and it won't negotiate your vendor contracts.
Right. Operational competence cannot be bypassed by celebrity.
I actually want to leave you with a final thought to ponder, something that builds on all this. We might be witnessing the ultimate stress test of the attention economy.
Ooh, I like that.
For the last decade, the logic was that attention equals capital. If you capture eyeballs, monetization automatically follows. But if 2 of the most globally famous people on Earth can't effortlessly convert that fame into a sustainable consumer business, does it signal a bigger shift?
Are everyday consumers finally becoming immune to celebrity-branded products?
Exactly. Are we at a point where the public demands authentic expertise and seamless execution over mere proximity to fame?
It's a profound question about the future of influencer commerce. Because when the PR cycle ends, someone still has to know how to build the actual machine. You've been listening to Starscope Report, where Jordan and Jamie uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.